Yeah. So I was saying in the 2 seconds before we pressed record that I figured Christy would go pink, so I went green.
Like that was what the natural. I'm gonna turn a light on because it's
Christy, you do look like you're in the dark even more than normal.
even more than normal. It's because I am more than normal. I just wanted to close the blinds so that Penny doesn't have like barking fit at somebody.
Ariana,
Ariana, look at she's in her Ariana state.
Glenda.
Glinda. Oh my gosh. So you're sick. You have bronchitis.
Sure do.
And I definitely have a cold. So our preemptive apologies for any noise.
Don't make me laugh. It sounds like there's some sort of like train in my soul whenever I laugh. Yeah, I've gotten bronchitis before, once before, and I thought I was gonna die.
Throat stuff is the worst.
Well, it was my throat, but then it was my chest. So if it sounds like I'm in love and breathless, one of those things is very true. The other is true as well. Let me see.
I was like, they better both be truly.
They are. I just can't. I can't. Like I walk up the stairs and it's bad. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So, but it has been confirmed that is what it is. It's just, I mean, if COVID, people who got COVID, I got it, but I got it after had the shot, so it wasn't this. But like, if
When I
this is
had
what it,
COVID and I had the shot, but it hit me really hard, but it was more like my head. I the most I remember is I truly thought that my brain had swollen so much that it was going to crack my skull. And I was like, I need to go to the ER because
this is the difference between. See, I can't laugh. I probably should be in the ER right now.
I mean, I didn't go. I just like
I'm glad. I'm
think
glad.
I think about like how I'm about to die. I have a touch of my grandfather's, what is the word?
Paranoia.
No, the specific one where you think you're sick all the time.
Oh,
Hypochondriac, yes.
hypochondriac. I knew it was hypo something. Yeah.
I always I always forget it and then I always almost say something entirely different. Anyway, I have a touch of that. And so I always think that I'm much sicker than I am, but I'm also like too aware that I have that. And so it's a real problem because I don't go to the doctor when I'm actually sick. Like I was having gallbladder attacks for a year and a half before I went to the doctor because I was like, it's
You thought
stress.
your brain was gonna crack your skull.
But then I'm like, my brain is gonna crack my skull. I need to go to the ER. And then I don't. I don't go. So, but
I think I have a pretty like. I think I have a pretty, and that's partially I think having a nurse for a mom is that you couldn't really BS much. So
yeah,
it's like I think I pride myself on if I'm actually sick. My mom always said this too, is that I will tell you I'm sick, but it's real.
I am gonna be very dramatic, which is a shocker. I know.
I I I I'm shocked. My shocked is shocked.
I'm gonna be very dramatic until I'm very sick, and then I become very calm, and I just kind of state like very matter of factly, like I am very sick, and that apparently freaks everyone out because they're like, you're not a calm person. And so when you become
No, that's
calm,
yeah, Stuart, I think I told you once, Stuart says when I go quiet,
yeah,
he
it's like,
says,
oh no,
"You just are like a cat dying," and he says like a cat dying under a porch.
yeah.
He's like, "You just sort of, like, curl up on yourself and just don't talk." And he's like, "That's when I know."
That's when you yeah. Like, one time I had to have a friend take me to urgent care. I was really sick, and she was like, "It was so creepy because you were so calm, but you looked like you were about to die."
Well,
And,
but I
like
think that's the thing is that you have to harness when you're really sick all your energy on
on the
not
sickness on not dying.
I'm not
Yeah.
dying, yeah. I mean, to put
There's
it
nothing
dramatic.
left to be dramatic.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
just, like, sitting here. So when I went to go see, uh, Wicked recently, as
Yes.
in yesterday, recently, I was so focused because really the only thing that's wrong now is, like, my breath is
Yeah.
out of whack. I can't really do anything, but,
I'm
like, I cough a lot.
yeah.
Just, like, these coughing fits because I think it's, like, trying to clear out.
Yeah.
But, like, when I was in the movie, I had one, and I was like but
Oh, no.
because and I well, when I was sat next to someone, and I got so panicked.
Yeah.
So I know I'm not contagious anymore, but it's like they don't know that.
They don't know
I
that, yeah.
sound like I've been working in the mines my whole life. Like, I wouldn't wanna sit next to me at all.
Fair,
So, like,
yeah.
I had to leave, and then Stuart and I moved to the back row, to the very top,
Mhm.
because I was like, "I'm gonna go insane. Just let me go insane by myself." And then I didn't cough anymore, because I think part of it was the stress of, like, this woman and her
Yeah.
girlfriend who were very excited to see this film, and then
Yeah.
I was like
You're, like, dying. Like, "Oh, no." Yeah.
I can tell you the exact moment. It was when the goat comes in and he starts saying,
Something bad.
"Telegraph."
Yeah.
He's struggling, and she's
Struggling.
being "See you next Tuesday."
Yep.
And, I had to leave for a minute, and then I came back in, and she was teaching her how to levitate a coin, and I was like, "I probably didn't miss too much then."
I have to tell you, I had to pee twice during it because the theater that we went to serves I know, but it serves, like, food and drinks
Yeah, yeah.
and they were doing a special, it was half off a bottle of wine, and so
No,
Amanda and I were like, "Yeah, sounds great." So we had a bottle of like, the 2 of us had a bottle of wine
oh gosh.
and, like, 3 of the giant glasses of water because if you put water in front of me, I'm gonna drink it. Like, I've never had a drop of water in my life. Yeah, so I had to pee twice, and the second time, I really thought we were nearing the end of the movie, and so I was like, "I'm gonna hold it, like, I'm gonna make it. It's almost over." And then I looked at Amanda and I was like, "I really have to pee." And she was like, "We still have 45 minutes left." And I was like, "I can't." And she was like, "I have to pee too. Let's just go." And we ran out of the
Mhm.
theater, ran to the bathroom, and,
Yeah.
like, I've never peed so fast, and then ran back in because you don't wanna be gone at the end there.
No, you don't I didn't wanna be gone in the middle, and even
You
when
don't wanna be gone ever, but, like, ugh.
I didn't even know if I don't even think that was the middle, but I came back in and, there's always, like, a montage of, like they make fun of it. It's a montage. Where it's like, suddenly she learns how to do all the things.
Mhm.
I feel like that was the montage
Yeah.
that I
I mean,
missed.
there are definitely points that are okay to leave, like, you're gonna be okay,
Yeah.
you know? You
Yeah.
probably picked a good one. I was gonna burst. I was like, "Sorry for whatever I missed, but
In different ways.
I don't think anyone here wants me to stay."
And then Stuart was like, you know, "Well, okay," because I said, "I'm gonna have to leave and get water," and he goes, "Okay." And I was like, "Okay." Like, he was like, "I'm not leaving, that's
He's like,
fine."
"Bye."
He's like, "Bye."
How
And I
did
was
he
like
like it? Does Stuart like it?
Stuart loved it,
Yeah.
but, like, I did say this in our girls' chat, is, like, the best thing about dating someone who's really nerdy, like, at their core, who got picked
Yeah.
on a lot in high school, which Stuart does both of those things, is that they never make fun of you for liking things.
Yeah.
And, so I was like, "Look, you saw the text exchange." I was like, "Look, you may not wanna do this, it's okay if you don't want to, but it could be fun, like, I'll treat you to it."
Mhm.
He's like, "I wanna go." He was like, "This sounds amazing." And come to find out, he was also raised by women,
Right.
but he had gone to the stage play. Now, interestingly enough, I had not. I actually didn't know anything about well, I knew because, Ariana and Cynthia were really hustling
They were really
the
hustling.
circuit.
So, I'm so curious about this because
I
I
did
have a
too.
lot of Wicked knowledge because I've read all
Mhm.
of the books. And I
Apparently the
saw
books are effed up.
the Wicked, the actual book that it's technically based on is crazy dark and
Yeah, that's
like
what I meant, like,
it is, yeah, it is intense. And then he wrote another one called Son of a Witch,
the
which is about Elphaba's son, as you may have picked up on, which I didn't like at all. I will tell you that he wrote one about the stepsisters in Cinderella that is by far his best book, and nobody talks about it. It's a really, really good book, but I don't actually recommend the book. Like, it's really
that's
messed
what
up and
everyone
weird.
says that I've talked to is, like, "Don't read it, it's just kind of weird and not good."
Yeah, and then I saw the play. I saw the musical in 2007. Toured, and I saw it with my friend Garen in Denver. Carol King was actually Madame Morrible when we saw it.
Oh, wow. Well, guys,
So
I do wanna oh, go ahead.
I'm just really curious because I want to know, like, from your perspective of not having anything coming into it, and then, like, versus I had a lot there to be
Yeah.
like, I have, expectations and stuff, but I'm just so curious. But
Yeah,
I
so
loved it
guys,
too.
welcome to Theology on the Rocks. This
Yeah,
is
thank you.
Christy and Leah, and today we're going to be talking about Wicked because
Obviously.
clearly we've already
We've
started,
already
but
done it.
also there's a lot of theology in it, and I find that
There is.
interesting. We are doing green and pink drinks if you want to
Yes.
carry along with us. I have figured Christy would do pink, so I did green. I found a green cup, and I'm drinking green wine. Yeah,
Green wine. So interesting.
vino verde.
Nice. My cup is clear, but I have a pink gin and tonic. I should
It's
have put it in my unicorn cup. That would have been perfect, but I didn't think about it until just right now.
I have a collection of cups that I've gotten from strange bars,
I
and I
love it.
just realized this is one of them.
I
I
love
just
that.
picked out a green cup, but it says in Atlanta they ask you what you do for a living. In Charleston they ask you who your grandmother was. In Macon they ask you what church you go to. But in Savannah they ask you what do you want to drink. It's not very
Okay.
funny. It was like a big buildup. Shout out to the Warehouse Bar and Grill, which I'm
Nice.
sure is on River Street in Savannah, I'm guessing.
I feel like now we have to take another visit there.
Well, you already said we're going to because it's kind of in between, but
I
also the
know.
bananas. We have to go see the bananas.
We have to go see the Savannah Bananas. I've never been to Savannah and it's on my bucket list and it is like right in the middle of us. So we're gonna do it.
It's one of the good guys. It's
Yeah.
all the things. It's cutesy and spooky.
Yeah. I love that.
Cutesy, spooky, and boozy.
Perfect. Perfect.
So yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're going to talk about Wicked, if I can get my words
Wicked
out.
and theology. We're not
Hmm.
just gonna talk about our opinions, we are gonna talk about the theology stuff
And
too.
we'll try not to do spoilers. I think that that's
I mean, to an extent, I will say it's been out for 20 years, so I feel
well,
like
I well, that's true. But I would not have wanted to hear this podcast. Maybe go see the film first before
yeah,
you
maybe
listen.
go see if you're really like, "I don't wanna know anything going into it," go see the film. I will say this is also only part 1, so
Yeah,
the
no
ending
spoilers for part 2 because I don't wanna know about part 2.
I won't tell you anything about the second part, and yeah, we'll be as unspecific as possible about certain things, so
Yeah. So, coming into it having I have seen The Wizard of Oz.
yeah.
That's all of that. I like the little shout out in the beginning
Mhm.
to that. I don't know, I was really when it was over, I was like, "Wow, that was really good." There's a lot of critical thinking that needs to go into this. I know
Yeah.
I'm 20 some odd years late to it, but I'm also like, this is way more interesting than The Wizard of Oz, just in general.
Mhm.
But again, it plays into and you guys have heard me say this a million times, it plays into the history. I always like knowing. I feel like it adds weight to what happens to characters in films if you know their history.
Yes, I agree. I love stuff that does like, let's take a look at this other character and see what their perspective might have been, which is a fairly I wouldn't say it's a small genre. There's quite a lot of both books and movies, TV shows that do this of saying like we're gonna
There's a
like
reason I had to watch 900 hours of Star Wars.
yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot.
I mean, there's Jean Reese, who I did my dissertation on. Her most famous novel is exactly this, is taking one of the characters in Jane Eyre and writing the story from her perspective. So, you know, it's definitely a big thing. But I think this is what Gregory Maguire, the author of the book, did with all of his books. And I think he did it really well. The quibbles and the issues I have with the books are aside, and I think that the musical fixed a lot of those issues anyway. So like when we're just talking about the musical, I think it does an amazing job of saying like we got this story Wizard of Oz and it's this incredibly famous film, but let's take a look at like how this might have been or what's the lead up to it. How can we understand the perspective of these other characters? How do they all tie together? Like, it built a bigger world of Wizard of Oz than the movie gave us initially, you know?
And I think it offers, like, I agree. And I think it offers, again, as someone who wasn't invested in this world, but I watch a lot of stuff that's like the hero's journey, like
Mhm.
even my horror films, fairly formulaic. And indeed, I was talking about Star Wars earlier. There's a
Yeah.
clear, you get, I don't want to, well, they're very old. You get a little bit of a redemption arc for one bad guy there in those old OG films that I won't say any more about. But like in general, you don't necessarily. I think the prequels of Star Wars tried to give a little bit of weight to some of the characters, especially like
Mhm.
Darth Vader with Hayden Christensen and all of that.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it worked as well as what I saw in this film. Like I think it was really good to see like it's not just a there's a good and a bad. There's a wicked and a
Right.
good. Is
And
that
I think
they're complicated
they're
characters.
complicated, and it's all of the characters because,
Yeah.
like, Elphaba is certainly not wicked in the way that we talk about her in Wizard of Oz, right? She's not just wicked. And, like, what does it mean to be wicked? How is she also good? Obviously, she's kind of the hero of this version. And then you have Glinda, who certainly looks like or, like, is looking like she's going to move into that villain spot from, like, what you see happening and stuff, but you see that that's complex for her too. Like, she's not.
She's not as smart, and she's a coward in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, and, like, I think that she is, and I've seen quite a bit of people talking about this, like, and we talked about it a lot when we talked about the election, that's that proximity to power that white women have
Mm.
that we wanna hold on to, and that she is displaying that in a really really kind of nuanced way. She has enough power to wanna hold on to it and not give it all up and go run off with something that's risky. But I think also she isn't sure, like, I don't think that she understands or completely buys into the other option, which, like
Yeah, she's like one of those, if we wanna translate it into the Christian world, she's like one of those evangelicals that's on the cusp of, like, deconstructing, but
yeah. She's, like,
doesn't.
on the cusp of deconstruction, but no one has explained to her well enough, I think, like, that she's not losing something or why it's important to do this. There's just not enough information given to her when she's, like, meant to choose.
See, I disagree. I think she's just not a very I think she's just not I think she thinks it's too much of a risk. And, like,
Oh,
I get that
certainly, I
she's not.
do, but I don't think anyone has made it appealing to her, which
I
maybe
mean,
isn't
Elphaba
necessary.
Elphaba made it super appealing, I thought, like, she was sitting there, like, doing her social justice evangelism at the end, like, "We have to go out and right these wrongs and blah, blah, blah," and then the whole time what I thought was really interesting, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I've only seen it once. Um, there's this big scene at the end, again, this is quite a
Mhm.
big spoiler, where, Elphaba has sort of found her power
Yeah.
and has said, like, "We've gotta I've gotta go, we've gotta get out of here, we've gotta." do make things right because
Yeah,
Oz is clearly being run by a dictator at this stage.
right.
Um, and Glinda never says no. I think that's
No, she doesn't.
she
She's
just
really on the fence.
she is, but then I think she she goes and gives her this cloak because she says she's cold.
Yeah.
And then to me, it just felt like that was her saying no. Like
Yeah.
she was
I mean, I totally get what you're saying, and I don't wanna give her, like, too much credit. I think what I see with Glinda is, again, kind of similar to what I saw or I see with certain people who are like, I voted for Trump or I didn't vote because of X, Y, and Z that is like, yeah, but that's not gonna help as much as you think it is. And it's like with her, that's what I see happening too. She's like, but if we can stay here, we could work with the wizard. We could take the safer option and
yeah.
accomplish something. And she thinks that that's a possibility, whereas Alphaba is like, no, it's not. And it
Because
is. It's a
Elphaba has seen
Alphabet
that they
understands that
don't
it's
have
not.
any real power.
Yeah. Like this is all a charade.
The
And
power
whether
is
it's like
what the
being able
people
to understand or just being willingly ignorant, I think Glinda just is like, I can't jump onto that train quite yet,
know.
you
And
know? But
I think we could both be right in that, in the sense that, like, maybe she is just doesn't have the information, but as a result, I think
but as a result, she's harmful.
and she's also had the system work for her, which
Exactly.
I think is important.
Yeah,
So she
exactly.
thinks she can work within the system and make
Yep.
it better
Because it's always worked for her.
because it's always worked for her.
Yeah.
Like, at one point, she makes the shocking declaration, "Oh my gosh, I didn't get my way." And
Yeah.
she's very surprised by this.
She's like, "This has never happened to me before."
This
This is a
never happened.
shocking experience for her. Yeah.
Whereas, like, Elphaba's whole
Her
narrative line
whole life. Yeah.
is that the system never worked for her,
Right. So
and so
why
she
would
has
she
no
trust it?
trust in it.
Yeah.
And so when Oz, or, rather, the wizard shows even the slightest inclination that he is, deceptive,
Mhm.
she just immediately kind of rejects it and
Yeah.
says because she has no tolerance left for people who are not who they say they are, I think.
Yep. I think that's exactly it. She's already not trusting of authority, people in general, and she's watching her mentor turn into a villain as well. Like, how crushing is that?
Right. And the father figure, I would argue that she never really
Oh,
had,
yeah.
which is a whole other thing, but, like, she she never and I think and again, you don't have to tell me anything, but
Yeah.
this is another big spoiler, is I swear they never showed so Elphaba's mom was with another dude,
Yes.
which resulted in Elphaba. Elphaba's
Correct.
mom got with her husband and made a second sister.
Correct.
But this second sister's not green.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's the father figure, but I also think it is the father, is the Wizard of Oz, because it's Jeff Goldblum's voice the whole
I'm gonna
time.
not say anything
Well, but
because
I
it's gonna
heard
give
it. It's
spoilers,
his
but
his I would know his voice. Listeners, let me tell you about the sexual
Jeff Goldblum has one of the most distinctive voices, and
he
I
truly
think they
does.
tried to make it less obvious
I
and
think they
failed.
tried not so good because
I feel like
I
they
could
failed.
point that man out of a ever since he was lounging in Jurassic Park, and I was, like, 12 and had no idea what was happening, but I was sure
I was sure.
something something in my heart was stirring like John Wesley. I know that man's voice, those dulcet tones, and as soon they were, like, doing these back and forths at his face, and then,
Right.
like, "Okay, sure, but he's still talking." And I was I see, because I knew Jeff Goldblum was in the movie, but I didn't actually know
You didn't
who
know
he
that he was
was.
the wizard? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So as I looked at Sir can tell you this for a fact, I went, "That's Jeff Goldblum." And he was like,
That's
"Okay."
funny. I mean, it's hard to say because, like I said, I'm trying to remember, this is 2007 that I saw the musical. I definitely read the book first, because I remember when it came out, and I remember, like, there was a lot of book nerd buzz about the book, and then again, all of his sequels and the other ones, and then we went to see the musical. So, like, I never got to have that, like, "Oh my god, it's the wizard." Anyway.
I mean, I still don't know that I'm right, but I that's Jeff if that they either got Jeff Goldblum to do a voiceover for
I'm
this man,
Yeah. I
or it is
mean
Jeff Goldblum, because I'm telling you, you watch that movie, you tell me that's not Jeff Goldblum, and he's talking, and I was like, because
I
his
mean,
voice is
yeah,
so
cannot
insane.
you cannot pretend like that's not Jeff Goldblum in the beginning.
Not even a little
So,
bit. So either the director was like, "I'm gonna throw in a wrench here,"
I'm
or
gonna confuse you all. I'm gonna say
anyway,
that's not the big twist, but
that's fine. I don't like I
I
said, it's hard for you because you've seen it all.
I've seen it all. I know too much, honestly. However, here's what I will say specifically. This movie is more in depth than the musical is, so they did a lot more nuance and there's a lot more history coming in. They're pulling obviously more from the book than the musical usually does. So there is some
Well, they had to
difference.
make it a two-part had to in quotes,
Yes, they
make it a
decided
two-parter.
to make it 2 parts, so it is longer, but, like, it's also you get a lot more of that nuance with it, which is great. I like that. I think they did an incredible job, but
I'm concerned about the animals. So
yeah,
once
let's talk about the animals for a quick second because, like, just as a
I'm
general thing.
upset.
So, the animals in Oz could talk, and they're slowly losing their ability to talk, and we hear Dr. Dillamond talk about this, but we also see the baby lion cub. There's a lot of symbolism going on with everything in Wicked. Wicked is like 5 different social issues in one.
Mhm.
But I really like to talk about, like, what were your thoughts of, like, what the animals are representing or how we're supposed to be kind of walking away from that?
Well, in between my coughing fit,
Yeah.
I did walk in to see Animals Should Be Seen and Not Heard,
Mhm.
and there was, like, they used to be professors and now they're not, and then I
Mhm.
saw them get together, and some of them were like, "I'm leaving,"
Yeah.
and then some of them were like, "I'm staying," and then they come in later and get the Professor Goat, and yeah,
Yeah.
he's losing the ability. He's something's happening
Yeah. He's
where he
losing
can't
his ability to talk. Yeah.
talk to humans. I mean, I think it could be representative of any oppressed group. I feel like it could be very relatable to women and people of color. Losing the voice is such a big thing, but also just the fact that, like, I think it's a different kind of oppression when you're given a platform and then it's taken away. So I'm quite aware of the election and a lot of the stuff around abortion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think what's happened in Oz is that it's not that the animals have always been in cages. It's that the animals were
They had freedom and now it's
they
being
had freedom and they
yeah.
had things, and then all of a sudden, what's happened, which is you learn later is coming from shocker, the top down, is
Mhm.
that they're losing that power by losing their rights,
Yes.
essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that kind of oppression where you give people a platform and then you take it away
Yeah.
can be it's a different kind of oppression than never having it at all,
It's
in a
really
way.
like when we're comparing it to things and I think that one of the kind of brilliances of Wicked is that there's a lot of ways that you can see it speaking to multiple, like you said, lots of different marginalized peoples. So it doesn't have to be like this is just about this one thing, but like you can compare it to this. Like you said, like women have had pretty big strides in the past 50 years in terms of freedoms. And not only is abortion like being taken away, but it's concerning how many people are openly saying things like, "Let's take votes away from women,"
Mm.
or, like the other kinds of things that get floated out there, and we tend to act like, "Oh, they would never do that." But they certainly would. They would absolutely do that if they get enough of a foothold. They get enough people saying, "Yeah, okay, I can get on board with that." I also don't think that women should vote. They would 100% take the vote away.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, and that's what I saw when I or, like, all of the people, well, not all the people, but a bunch of people on my Facebook, and I've had requests about marriages before January for
Mhm.
people in the queer community, and that just feels so
Yep.
sad.
I think
Like,
that's a big
get them
one.
done now before January, and I'm like, yeah, it gets you thinking. It's just a different. It's a different level of oppression when you say you can have it, and then realizing how easy it is to take it away.
Yep. And, like, what is your mindset about that, and how do we try to stop that from happening? Like, what are the kinds of things that we do, and what are the different ways that people can declare their own freedom in that, you know? Because
Yeah,
then I think too about, like, the early stages of chattel slavery and those first people who were taken, you know, kind of in the beginning of it, like, they had rich cultures. Some of them were higher up in their groups, things like that, and now all of a sudden they're being thrown into these ships, and you start to think about, like, okay, like, what are the ways that they pushed back, and what are the kind of traumas that happened, in their minds because of it, not just, like, once it was kind of this thing that was happening and we had almost a desensitization to it, you know? And then also, like, what kinds of things can we do, like, looking for what ways are they trying to put the animals in cages, you know? Like, how do we keep an eye out for that? Because, like, it's happening, it's gonna keep happening, and to all sorts of people. Um,
yeah, and
yeah.
I thought that sort of meeting they had where it was like some people were like, I don't, or some animals were like, I don't know what to do. One animal was like, I'm leaving, and then
Mhm.
the other animal was like, no, we have to stay and fight. And I think it mirrored what the overall story is about in a way. Is like the Glendas and the Elphabas is
Yep.
kind of, and then honestly, everyone in between, like
Yeah.
those two that keep Bo and Yang and the girl, you know, fluffing up the ego of
Mhm.
Glinda.
Mhm.
It's like there are in betweens of
Or like
those two.
Fiero, like, where is he gonna fall? You know, Fiero is just like Linda when he comes. They're cut from the same cloth.
He started thinking though.
He's dancing through life, and then he starts thinking, and he's like, "Well, shit, I don't wanna do that."
Yeah.
But, like, where does he go from here, you know? Like, what is his role gonna be? And
Well,
I
and
think
that's the
that
thing, I don't think he can go back because once you
once you
start
start
thinking,
thinking, it's a real slippery slope, honestly.
we can tell you
We
for
are
a
here
fact.
to tell you about all of the thinking that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, so there was a prince in the story, and he kind of does the traditional prince stuff, which is, yeah, he's dancing through life, he's
Yeah.
handsome, he is one of my Bridgerton boys, I will say.
Yeah. I mean, Jonathan Bailey, good lord. That
Good lord.
man
Good
can
lord. Yep.
have everyone. He can
Can
have
have
everyone.
everyone. Just everyone. I told that to Stuart, and he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Good. We're
Yeah,
all on the." So everyone's on the same page.
everyone.
They may not say it out loud, but they're all on the same page. But yeah, he kind of floats into the school, and him and Glinda, who honestly presents quite vapid and
She's very Regina George
self-interested.
in the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And every time I see her, I actually have this may be because I'm drinking from my green cup. But I have a much more critical view of her, I think, because it's like every time that she has some sort of redemption arc, it's self-motivated, it's selfish. It's not even when she dances with Elphaba, where Elphaba's, trying to be herself, and it's not going down well at a dance. I don't know, a dance is the best place to like express yourself, but
I know, but it happens so frequently.
it does. But Glinda goes up to her and starts dancing, and that's the part that actually made me really emotional, but then I realized she did that because she let her in the class, you know? Like,
I think
I don't know that she reflected on it,
I think
but
she felt guilt because she gave her the hat knowing that she was going to be the laughing stock, you know?
yeah.
Knowing that this was gonna make everyone laugh at her, and then they did, and then she felt guilt and wanted to alleviate that, and I used to bring this up in my systematic theology class, um, when we would be talking about things like like the will and how we motivate, and are our motivations good or pure or whatever. And I would always bring up in Friends when Joey tells Phoebe that there is no selfless act. Like everything you do has a little bit of selfishness to it. And she tries to prove to him that she can do something selfless and lets herself get stung by a bee. And he's like, yeah, but then the bee died. So, like, that was not selfless. And she's like, oh shit. And then she donates a bunch of money and then is happy because of something that came from it. And he's like, see, now you're happy. Like, so there's always some amount of selfish motivation in Joey's theology. And I think that you see
All right.
the theology of Joey Tribbiani. I think that you see this also being questioned with Glinda is what are her motive, because I think like we understand Elphaba in terms of like how to nuance her character. We've done that before, but with Galinda, it's really complicated because she isn't a good person. She's not one of the heroes, but she's also not like clearly a villain. And to try to figure out like when are her good moments or what are her motivations, I think that's where I think it's like really like theologically rich in terms of like how are we like this, you know?
Well, and
'Cause I
also,
would venture
how do you define a villain, which I think is
yeah.
the whole, like,
I
core
think
of the entire thing.
that's definitely a huge part of it. I think too, like, because we want to be the Elphabas, we want to be the ones that are like, I'm gonna go be a hero, I'm gonna sacrifice, you know? But like most of us aren't going to do that.
Speak for yourself, Whaley. I'm gravitating,
I mean,
and I'm from
we
New York,
try.
apparently.
I think we try. I think we do in certain ways, but like 90% of people are not Martin Luther King Jr. Like this is not we're not all gonna but also like we shouldn't want to become the hero, That's still selfish.
Yeah, I don't think
So it's
Elphaba
like
wants to become a hero. I think she's
yeah.
just driven by
No, I think that's true, but like for most of us saying like I want to be the Alphaba, why though, And then like examining those questions of what are our motivations? How are we choosing what we're doing? How are we helping? How are we standing against like if we were in Oz and we had the chance to like partner up with Elphaba, what is the role I could take? You know? What are the kinds of things I could reasonably do?
I mean, I still think Belinda's the villain of my story anyway. But I will
I
say,
can't say anymore because you haven't seen the second half.
I
So
haven't seen so this is maybe a good thing, is,
this
like,
is
you have the inside scoop, but, like, for me, I am basing this solely on the first film, and I've
yeah.
not seen the stage play, I've not read the book, so based solely on this film, she doesn't come off well, like,
No, she's not
and
supposed
I
to.
hope that there is some sort of, and I think that, the thing that got me with her too is that her Munchkin interaction in that very first scene when Elpha was dead, and she's
Yeah.
just like, "Oh," and, like, you can tell she's wrestling with it. I'm not
Yeah.
saying she's not, but,
Yeah.
like, she still performs. And to me, I was like, "That's the worst." Like, the performance of, like, she still cares so much about what these people think who don't really affect her. Like, what I mean, I guess she's like the princess of Munchkin Land, I don't know.
And she has some significant power at that point. Again, I can't give away too much.
Well, she pissed me off. She pissed me off.
But also, and this is where you do have to come back and say, okay, what do I remember that she did in The Wizard of Oz? Like, this is still Glinda. She comes down in the bubble. She tells Dorothy, you need to take those shoes from that witch you just landed your house on, and then you're gonna go down the yellow brick road. Like, The Wizard of Oz as a
Didn't
story
tell her about that bullet train, old
happens
Belinda. She just was,
but The
like,
Wizard of
taking a little.
Oz, like, when Wicked like, when you see them walk down the yellow brick road, that's telling you, like, that is them right after they've killed the Wicked Witch of the East. So, that's implanted. We have to remember all of those things. And so, yeah, Glinda does do some significant things against Elphaba in that story, as we all are familiar with.
Yeah,
Hopefully, everyone's seen 1939 movie Wizard of Oz.
and now I'm deeply concerned about again,
Again,
I'm deeply concerned about Elphaba's sister because she's gonna end up under a house. I mean, because again, if you've only seen the old one and this one, apparently Elphaba only has one sister, although there may be more out there. But damn it all, if she didn't end up underneath that damn house, I'm like, okay, cool.
Yep.
Not
So
gonna get too attached to that one. Also, F you, Dorothy. Like, could I know it's not technically your fault, but like, damn,
like, man, you were used and manipulated by
you were, and
that
also,
pretty witch in the
well,
blue in the bubble.
great. Also, really want to emphasize that train that suddenly disappeared on Old Dorothy. They were just like,
Also, my favorite thing to joke about with The Wizard of Oz, the actual movie, is that Glinda sends her on this whole big adventure, and at the end, she's like, "You've always been able to go home. You just need to click your heels." Like, she could have done that back in Munchkinland.
she could have,
Glinda, you are such a bitch.
right? Should have, could have taken the train to
So,
shorten
yeah,
that.
I mean, like I said, I'm not here to be like Glinda's a good person. I don't think that at all. I just think her character has a lot of I think it has a lot of questions for us to like internally take like how am I
And I think the Wizard of
more like
Oz,
Glinda?
the old school one, is the hero's journey. I mean, you get the
Yes, it
hero, they pick their
absolutely is.
friends
It's
on, yeah,
super
like they defeat the
yeah.
thing, blah blah. Like they learn a
Yeah.
lesson.
Yeah.
So it follows that trope. So that's why I like this so much because it does. And one of the theological questions that I often think about because I teach world religions now, along with you, Christy. And
Yep.
there's always a tempter or
Yep.
a a wicked or a bad person
Mhm.
or someone who's trying to, whether that's Satan or Mahavira or, whatever. There's always someone who is trying to, dissuade the hero of religions from doing what they're doing.
Right.
And I always think to myself, it's because humanity needs a bad guy because otherwise we have to admit that we ourselves
That
are
we're
just
the bad guy.
that we're the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wonder what this movie says to that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why I feel so like compelled to look at the ways that I relate to Glinda more is because she is kind of but she's us, in a
Mhm.
more realistic way. But I think you're right. We always invent a bad guy, Satan or whoever. When I was working at an evangelical institution, there was a big kind of I'm going to say rage against our department because we weren't willing to constantly talk about Satan. And there was another person in a different department who said that the number 2 character in the Bible is Satan. And we were like, that's
Actually,
not
not a lot that goes on about
there's
heels.
not he's not. Satan isn't even a person or a being. Like there's not a
The
Satan.
tempter.
It's
Yeah,
any adversary, right? Like
right.
any adversary, which is often people
Yep.
or whatever. And so it's completely trying to it's a scapegoat. We don't want to be the bad guys. We want to be the
Thanks,
good guys,
Dante. Again.
right? Dante and your levels.
Dante. My gosh.
When we really look at it, who's the bad guy? It's us. Like we're the ones that broke the relationship. We're the ones
Mhm.
with this, sickness, whatever ways we want to talk about sin. We're the ones who are constantly grasping for power. We're the ones who want people to like us or whatever. And we're the ones who are sacrificing doing good things to keep those comforts.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
And anytime that we do bad, it's like, oh, well, we were tempted.
we were tempted.
It's like,
Here's this reason.
And I love the Garden of Eden story for that because literally, God gave them 1 rule.
It was 1 tree out of how
1
many?
rule.
1 rule. It's so easy to not break 1 rule,
1 rule.
especially, like, at least Eve argued,
Imagine being a
you know?
woman and being like, in your life, you don't have to follow any sort of thing to be
Oh my
deemed
god.
professional. You just have 1 rule.
You have 1
Is that
rule.
you have to wear a jacket, a
You
man
only
jacket.
Yeah, you have to wear a jacket. That's the only thing you have to
That's
do.
the only rule.
Can you imagine the freedom?
And they couldn't even do it. And they're like, "Oh, well, there was
No.
a temptation,
This guy told me I looked better without a jacket on, so I took it off. Like,
take it off."
good
You
lord,
had 1 rule.
1 rule. I
You had 1
know.
rule. So, like, I think, yeah, you're right. We have to see ourselves for what we really are, and also to see that, like, especially in stories like this, that good and evil are not so easily defined. Like, that's not,
Exactly. Mhm.
especially when you're dealing with humans,
Yep.
whether they're fantastical humans or not, is that, we all have the capacity of great good and great bad.
Yeah.
And, like, you know,
And I think yeah, I mean, that's exactly it, is good and evil are not clear cut. Nobody is purely good, nobody is purely evil. And where we fall in the spectrum is always kind of going to have a lot to do with how like the small decisions that we make. It's not that you don't make a lot of bad small decisions and then in the big moment be like, "Okay, this time I'm going to make the good decision." It's
right.
like you're kind of building yourself into a place
Yeah.
where that big moment happens and you're going to make a specific decision.
And clearly, like, I mean, of course you can caricature someone, but, like, and I think there's a lot to be said about racism in this film as well because of the
Mhm.
green skin. I mean, I think that's just on the nose and how she's
Yeah,
treated so different because of that. But I
yeah.
think also, like, there is an impression, and again, I haven't seen the second part, but there is an impression that I got that she had done some stuff. Something had not gone right, or they were being propaganded so hard that the stuff she had done right was actually wrong, that she was viewed as, and I know in the beginning they do this little speech that's like, everyone needs a bad guy, and then they roll
Yep.
out all the green banners and show her
Yeah.
as the bad guy, and she's easy to scapegoat. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that didn't take place, but clearly her good deeds or whatever she did for advocacy has been twisted, or she did bad, you know, what others deem to be bad deeds because
Well,
people
I'd
said they were
say
bad.
like so that we don't give I
Something
don't give
happened.
anything away because I'm not going to. We can just talk about the monkeys and
Right.
her giving them wings. So she didn't know what was going to happen and she didn't know that she was being manipulated. But she did give them wings and cause them pain.
She did, but and that broke my heart because it was like he's always looking, what was it, like the robins or something?
He's
He's always
always watching the birds. I mean, 100%, if she had known, she wouldn't have done it, right? But she trusted the wrong person, and I think too, she was so excited about, "I have this power, it's gonna help me fix my life." Because there's the song, Her and the Wizard, they're gonna do all these amazing things. So she's also kind of in that moment like, "Ooh, I'm being tempted by this other thing." This does not make her a bad person,
maybe the monkeys like the wings
but
though
she
afterward.
does do a bad thing, you know, um,
I mean,
in this.
did they not like the wings?
I mean, it causes them a lot of pain, and I think it has a lot to do with, like, this was not done with their consent. Like, they didn't want to be flying monkeys. But again, I can't go into any more specifics on that
Okay,
for
that's
the
fine.
moment.
No, they're clearly in pain. So one of the things, if you've not seen the film, is she does a spell, and yeah, she's got a person in her ear that's saying, one of them looks to the sky at
Yeah,
these birds.
he wants this, he wants to fly.
Yeah, and the monkey is just looking at her, and so she does a spell, and it creates. But I don't think she realized to the
Well,
extent that they all were gonna get wings,
right.
and that they were in pain, clearly they were in pain as it was happening.
Yeah. And, like, I think that that too kind of, it's a good admonition of, like, how many times do we do something because in the moment we think, "Oh, this is a good thing to do,"
Mhm.
you know? And that's part of part of being human, and again, also not being just, like, a perfectly pure person. She's not wholly good. She's not wicked, she's not evil, but she's not wholly good in that.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, because there's
yeah.
a little bit of, like I will say with Elphaba, I think partially because she's not had much guidance,
Oh, for
there is
sure.
a little impulsiveness
Yeah.
there that doesn't she's almost the polar opposite to Glinda in that
Mhm.
sense, is that Glinda thinks too much,
Yeah. She's super
and Elphaba
impulsive.
almost
And also
doesn't
that's super impulsive, yeah.
yeah, doesn't think about it enough, and so because she's trying to find something, Elphaba, and I
Mhm.
think she thinks if she just does it, she'll find what she's looking for. I mean, in this movie, it doesn't look like she has so far, but
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I think
she's
I
dead
think
at
what
the
she's
beginning.
looking for, and I think this too kind of comes back to a lot of things that we've talked about before, but she's looking for love and looking for connection, you know?
Right.
She
Yeah, her
doesn't
dad
have it.
rejects her throughout the film pretty
Her
actively.
Yeah, like, she gets rejected so often and so frequently that when Glinda dances with her, I mean, that moment is really beautiful and so heartbreaking and sweet and, like, lovely. It's like she's for the first time feeling like, "Oh, this person loves me." And
But
then
they just crossed paths, Christy.
just cross paths, and then, like,
I could
Madame
have
Morrible taking her under her wing and mentoring her and then saying, like, "The wizard wants to see you." She's not seeking power in the same way that Glinda is, she's seeking love, she's seeking connection, and
right,
she's thinking that she's gonna get it, and she's thinking that he's gonna take away the greenness, and then she'll stop being ridiculed, and
which is heartbreaking. And then she gets there, and both the headmaster and the wizard are just manipulating her
yeah,
for her
I mean
power.
and it
And
and
like,
it becomes clear, like, none of these people are going to stand up for you, none of these people are gonna be on your side, and that's so heartbreaking, like, yeah, I mean, there's so much to come in it too,
I was gonna
but
say,
I
I'm not
do
gonna look at you, but I'm super interested. Don't make a face and don't do anything.
well,
But I'm super interested in where the Scarecrow and the Tin Man come into play. And I have thoughts, but, like, I know they're coming from someone we met in this first movie, and, like, I have thoughts on
I
that.
the only thing I'm gonna say is that again, what I wish about the book, maybe I wish that he just had a little bit more editing going on because the book is just kind of it's a lot. But the musical fixes so many of those problems, and it does a phenomenal job of weaving together all of the lore because it uses not just the original movie, but it uses, L. Frank Baum's original books as well. It uses some of that stuff. It pulls in just from all over the places while, like, expanding it. It's a really, like, incredibly well done storytelling. You're gonna love it.
I'm excited because
You're
I know they're gonna have to get a Dorothy too, and that's a question. Because clearly
I
when you
know.
the beginning of the film is really, I guess, probably the middle, or end of Wizard of Oz or middle of Wizard of Oz?
It's kind of towards the it's after so they start it's when they're going back to the Emerald City after they've killed the Wicked Witch.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, assumably, part 2 is gonna have to have a Dorothy.
Yes.
Who do you think would be good for Dorothy?
Oh my gosh. So I've seen a few things. I wanna first stress the importance of just knowing facts. Wizard of Oz was filmed in 1939, and Judy Garland has been dead for quite some time, so
Did
it's
someone say
not
they were
gonna
gonna
be her.
resurrect Judy Garland and bring her back?
I keep seeing people being like, "Maybe it'll be Judy Garland." It cannot.
Y'all, no,
Y'all, she's been
she's
gone
gone.
She's been gone from this world for a
We
time.
we had the movie with Renee Zellweger. We wasn't that Judy Garland?
Yes, it was. Oh my god, did you see that? S I saw.
So good.
It was so good, but
So upsetting.
so upsetting. Somebody also said maybe they would do, like, a CGI, like, hologram, and I was like, "No.
No.
A, I don't think that that's appropriate, and also, like, it's a massive cop out. Like, find
Mhm.
somebody, you know?"
No.
Somebody also said her daughter, but her daughter is Liza Minnelli, who is far too old. Again, like, we just
I
all
think
need to
she's
be
in,
a
like,
little
a
she
wheelchair now as well.
she yeah, she can't do it. Um,
Yeah, it's
anyway,
gonna have to be someone young.
it has to be someone young. I don't know. There was somebody else that I saw, like, that they already have her announced or whatever. I don't know. I don't really wanna look into it because so there was one thing, and I definitely don't wanna say this, but there was one thing that happened in the movie that I literally gasped loudly because I didn't know it was gonna happen, and I was so excited about it. And so I'm kind of trying to take that approach to the second half as well. Like, I want to know as little as possible
Mhm.
before I go to see it.
It was fun not knowing, I will say,
Yeah, like, it was again, I knew a lot of things, but I didn't know a lot of things about the movie
and
specifically,
it
you
wasn't a
know?
purposeful omission, like, it just is one of those sort of like how there's sort of cultural things that you just miss?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'd never seen the Harry Potter films before I met Stuart. It wasn't like I purposely didn't go see
right.
them. It just
Yeah.
was like it
I
was a
mean,
thing I
I've
missed.
I've never seen Braveheart,
Yeah,
so
well, you're
and
not
I'm
missing.
not gonna. I'm sorry to all of the Braveheart fans out there, but it
Mel
looks
Gibson
terrible.
playing a Scotsman,
I can't anymore see it. I like,
you can't
you
even
can't you can't live in Scotland for more than a day and decide you're gonna go watch Braveheart.
hilariously, guys, the monument dedicated to William Wallace, the Wallace Monument,
Mhm.
actually has a statue of Mel Gibson
I
at
know,
the
I've seen
Wall
it.
of yeah,
Yeah.
but how
I mean,
interesting I'm gonna use the word interesting is that. How interesting is that?
yeah, no, I got a whole I we did a tour at Stirling Castle and then over to the Wallace Monument and, like, got a whole history lesson on all of it, and I was fascinated, and also I was like, "Why though?"
When I think about Dorothy, I feel like it has to be, like, someone from the Disney Channel, but, like
Right?
but the now Disney Channel, and I don't know because 'cause I'm 42.
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's somebody that you and I are gonna not be familiar with because also, fun fact, did you know that in the original Wizard of Oz, Dorothy was supposed to be 12 years old?
Mm,
Like, she's clearly not.
she's not. Those you can put me in pigtails, and it's not gonna make me 12.
I know, right?
It's not gonna make me 20.
I am Judy Garland was beautiful, but she was not 12, so
No. Also, I
yeah,
don't think
it's
a 12-year-old would be making decisions like that.
no.
She would
I
not
mean,
have been like, "Well, let's go on this journey and let's do the 12-year-old would sit down and be like,
12-year-old would be like,
I'm done
"This
with
is
this.
this is some
Too far.
bullshit.
Right, this is too far to walk.
This
Where
is
I
too
know
far."
there's a train around here somewhere.
A
This is too
12-year-old would be
far."
like, "Let me get on my phone."
I was like, "Right." She'd be like, "I'm gonna text Uber." Also, she'd have been like, "Glenda, get me in that bubble." Why did Glenda not put her in the bubble? Put her in the
Put
bubble.
her in the bubble.
Like,
Jeez,
is the
Glinda.
bubble not able to take more than one human at a time? Here's an
Glinda.
idea. Send the bubble with Dorothy and the damn dog, and then just get the bubble to come back to you.
Yeah,
Or make a new bubble. I don't
yeah.
know how the bubble works.
I mean,
Whatever. I
it's
think
true.
Dorothy got screwed.
Dorothy did
Glenda's
get screwed.
the bad person to Dorothy.
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
just hating I'm hating on Glenda right now.
I mean, it's appropriate for you to do that right now. It is
Right
gonna
now.
be fantastic, though. When it comes out, the second part, I'm really
You and I
excited.
should watch it together when the second one comes out.
We should. We absolutely should. We'll make it a plan.
I mean, Christy's already going to see My Chemical Romance with my husband.
Y'all okay, so let me just tell y'all that this is one of my new favorite stories.
It's
Leah
true
calls
though,
me,
it's true.
and she's like you're like, "Hey, we're gonna co" you were
We're
so
coming to
vague about
Tampa.
everything. You were like, "We're gonna come to Tampa sometime," and I was like, "Awesome.
Mhm.
Is there a reason? Like, I want you to come.
There
Come
certainly was.
anytime." But the way you were saying it, and then you were like, "I don't know when it's gonna be," and I was like, "Okay, this is so weird," and then you finally were like, "Stuart wants to go see My Chemical Romance." And I was like, "Yes, I'm in, absolutely." And then you were like,
Well,
"Good."
because he was texting me, like, the information I was giving you was the information I was getting. Like, I didn't know it. He was like, "They're not playing in the South," and I was like, "Well, let's just go ahead and screw them then," because I
And he's
hate
like,
when
"But they
bands don't
are
do that.
playing in Tampa."
Right, don't play it, you're not playing Atlanta, get off it. So, like,
Their decision making on this tour is very confusing, but
and I booked
I'm
shows back in my college days. I know how it works, and I'm just gonna say whatever. Anyway, so then it was, "Oh, they're in Tampa."
Tampa. And then Leah goes, "You and Stuart are gonna go, and I'm gonna stay home with my niece." And I was like,
I'm gonna take care of Penny. I said, "You're gonna get me a nice bottle of wine and the cheese tray, and that's
"Yeah,
I'm gonna stay at home, and you guys are gonna have the most fun."
it's
And
gonna be amazing."
Stuart
Stuart
didn't even miss a beat. It was like me trying to leave the theater where he was just like, "Okay, bye." I said, "Christy's gonna go with you to the show."
he
He
was
goes,
like,
"Okay."
"Cool."
He was like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah.
And I
He
was
got
like,
us tickets. We're we got our tickets. He did a great job. I am so excited.
waited
He
in
waited in line
virtual
for a
line.
long time. I got some updates from both of you. It was fantastic. Everyone I know is jealous. Like, so many people are so jealous. But, like like I said, my favorite part was just the way it all came out. It was like I was getting, like, just bits at a time, and it was like, "Okay, they're coming. Okay, we're going to My Chemical Romance. Oh, Leah's not going to My Chemical Romance."
I'm not, 'cause I know one song. And again, I've been to many a show with Stuart. I'm sure it'll be a great performance,
It's gonna be
but
great.
the tickets were not the cheapest tickets in the world, certainly weren't the most expensive.
No, I've paid more, but I've also paid less, so,
For me to
yeah.
know one song would
I mean,
feels like it would be a disservice.
that's fair.
Plus, Stuart's
You
gonna
do
be
have some time. It's
real
not until September. You could have learned them. We could have sent you them
well. I
your
thought
email.
I had that thought, and then I looked back that same day, and all the re have you looked at the resale tickets?
Oh, they're bad.
We
Yeah.
should have bought more than 2,
Yeah.
except then we would be the bad guys in
We
someone
would be the
else's
bad guys, and
story.
we can't do that. This is where you
Yeah.
make good decisions, people. No, but yeah, Stuart texted me like an hour no, maybe 20 minutes after he got the tickets and was like, "Our section is already doubled in price." And I was like, yeah. So,
Yeah, and
I'm
the feeling is you could just be like, "Oh, I'll sell them," and it's like, "No, but
no,
you waited in
I'm
line
gonna
to see
go.
the show."
Yeah. This is what happened when I saw Taylor Swift too. My niece got them for, like, a reasonable amount of money, and then they just went astronomical after that. So, whenever people are like, "Oh, you saw Taylor Swift," I wanna be like, "Yes, but I paid, like, the correct amount."
Yes, and I think this is the correct amount for
Yeah,
that.
I do too.
Like, it's
This is
about what
exactly amount.
we paid for Weezer.
Yeah.
There was a New York Times article that came out that said, "These nostalgia shows," 'cause I went to see Weezer play the Blue Album, amongst other
Mhm.
things, but they played it in its entirety. Nah, like, we're millennials now, we have money.
Right? Exactly. This is the shit we
Let
wanted to
us
do when we were 12 or
I
not
was gonna
12,
say, I don't
20.
wanna hear them play the other albums. I wanna hear the Blue Album.
I wanna hear
And they also
I wanna
picked
hear
the
Black
best
Parade.
songs from the rest of it. They knew the assignment.
Yeah. And that's the thing, they usually play the whole album and then they play other stuff after.
They played Pinkerton, they played,
It's
like
not like they're gonna just not play
right.
anything else, but this is what Radiohead did too. They played one album in its entirety, and then they played all the other stuff except for Creep, obviously, and we're all okay
But I
with
think
that.
My Chemical Romance, if you love that album, sure it does,
Yeah,
then
it's gonna be
it's a
great.
great thing, and so that New York Times guy, he's just like, "It just shows that the best times are behind us," and I was like, "No, that's not
No,
actually what it shows at all."
it
Because
doesn't.
I remember my parents when I was in high school going to see Rolling Stones, because they
Yeah,
couldn't afford it when they were
yeah,
and Rolling Stones, if you remember in the '90s, had this resurrection, I say
yeah,
that quite literally, tour, where they propped them all up and they went on tour again, and my parents went and saw them twice,
yeah,
and they said, "You know, we can afford it now."
exactly. Well, and you know what? So this is a great segue into I just watched the Yacht Rock documentary on HBO. It's fantastic, but it also is talking about this very thing of, like, music from the past that is having a resurgence, and for Yacht Rock, there's kind of a joke to it because it came out of a comedy about this genre of music, and then they started calling it yacht rock, and not everybody is okay like, all of the artists, not all of them are okay with being lumped into this yacht rock thing. A lot of them are, but some of them aren't. And I understand that they're kind of like, "I'm not a joke, I'm a serious musician," except people love it. Like, I genuinely like listening to yacht rock. I'm not doing it as a joke. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it all that often, you know? When we go to the concerts, we're having a good time listening to this music. It's
Right.
not a joke. So it's not a nostalgia tour. It's like there's still good music. These bands are still fully capable of performing it, but we have money now.
We have
Like
money, yeah.
we can
I'm not 15.
I'm not yeah,
I struggled to buy the Blue album,
right?
let alone
Exactly.
tickets to go see the Blue album. She was like,
Exactly.
"They played in 1997 or something." I was like, "Bitch,
Well, yeah,
I was 15 years old, I couldn't afford to go there or
yeah.
drive or
And like some of us couldn't go to Warp Tour because we didn't live in the right parts of the country, you know, like
some of us
you still don't.
still do."
Or like I mean there's just a whole host of reasons we get to do the thing.
Yeah,
Also, just, like, have joy where you can find joy because it is lacking
it's
overall.
true. I mean, I
So,
don't make fun of Christy and her Hallmark movies at all, so it's fine.
I mean,
I
I'm
didn't psychoanalyze
Hot
the
Frosty is the
Hot
greatest Christmas movie
Frosty.
I've seen in a hot minute, and I will die on that hill. I am gonna make you watch it.
I'll watch it. I mean, I'll watch anything, I just have questions.
It's so funny. The thing you need to know about Hot Frosty is that it's essentially Brooklyn Nine-Nine made a Christmas movie, and so, like, they're in on the joke. They think it's funny too.
I
Like,
Yeah, it's
it's
a
not
irony then, it's not
yeah. It's like Deadly Adoption. My Hallmark movie, my Lifetime movie with Will Ferrell and Kristen Wiig,
only seen one scene out of it, so
they're in on the joke. They're doing exactly the thing, but
doing
they're
a bit.
doing it
It's a bit.
it's a
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, and so, like, if you go into it being like, "This is supposed to be serious," then you're gonna hate it. But
There are in my defense of mocking it, there are a lot of Hallmark movies where it's quite they take themselves quite seriously,
they yes, many of them do take themselves quite
which is
serious.
why that Anna Gasteyer thing is so funny. It's
It's
like,
so funny, I know.
"Did you
Yeah.
come here because 'cause you're a widow? Did you inherit a bookshop?
Did you
Is
get
your
fired?
is your ruggedly hot ex stalking you?"
That was my favorite one.
I was like, "Oh god."
Oh, guys, what is your favorite Christmas movie? I'm in my Christmas phase, as we all know.
A Christmas Story is well, we did this at one stage.
We
I
did.
do
That's
like,
right, I forgot.
and Christmas Miracle. I actually had you can remember this when I was talking about my favorite childhood movies, they were mostly Christmas films.
I know, and I was shocked. I
I
was
know.
shocked.
There's a heart underneath this crab shell.
I'm gonna tell you, because my favorite Christmas movies are still the older ones, like Christmas Vacation is and always will be my favorite
Oh,
Christmas
yeah,
movie,
that's a good one.
but there are a few coming out in recent years that I really like that I'm gonna so Single All the Way. Have you seen Single All the Way?
It sounds terrible.
It's so cute. It's on Netflix.
Is it self-aware?
I don't know if it's self-aware,
Okay.
but do you know who is in it? Is Jennifer Coolidge,
Okay,
and
I'm in, I'm in.
yeah, like, it's fantastic.
I feel like just her having her in it is self-aware in itself.
It's exactly. Also, it's a gay couple, and that's,
Okay, love to see that.
you know, good representation. But there's another one that's really sad, Dan Levy made it. It's called Good Grief, but it's, like, really beautiful,
It's a
but
sad Christmas movie.
it's a sad Christmas movie. It's a
Mhm.
good sad. It's Good Grief. So those are my 2 recent recommendations, plus Hot Frosty, obviously.
I'm gonna watch that one.
You're gonna love it.
I may watch that while you're off with my husband at My Chemical Romance.
In September, yes.
Yeah, I mean, why not? It doesn't feel like it has to be Christmas. I
I'll let
mean,
you watch A Deadly Adoption when you're here because I
okay.
have it on DVD, and
And
then
if
you can watch it,
in all the Criminal Minds my heart can
and then when Stuart comes back, you can just yell, "Diabetic ketoacidosis."
oh my god. I was in the hospital, I'm telling you this story. I was in the hospital with Stuart, who had gone into diabetic ketoacidosis, FYI. And Christy is so funny because we talk about emotions, and you think Christy is, like, the perfect emoter,
Nope,
but actually she does quite poorly sometimes with emotion.
really bad at it.
So,
Very,
like,
very bad
it's
at it.
really funny. So I'm just sitting there texting her like, "This is real bad. I'm in the ER." And she just sends me a link section of Deadly Adoption where Will Ferrell is going nothing less than apeshit over the fact that his adopted kid
He
could go
yells
into
out, "You know
ketoacidosis.
the dangers of diabetic ketoacidosis."
And I watched it in the ER. I was like,
And I am sorry that I sent that to you. However,
"I'm not." It made
I
me laugh in a
stand by
time
it.
that I could not laugh.
I was like, I made her laugh in
You
a
did.
very difficult time, and that is what I am here for.
You did.
Because no, and y'all, you may not realize this, but if you are really, really sad and you need someone to comfort you, Leah is the one you go to.
100%.
If you are really sad, but you want to ignore it and laugh, I'm the one you come to.
I agree with that. But also, I needed to
Yeah,
laugh. I
it
needed to
was.
laugh. So it was great, and I bring it up, that's why, because it was such a good people were like, "Can I bring you food? Can I
And I was
do
like,
X, Y,
"Here,
and Z?" And I was like, "Nah." Then Christy just sends me YouTube, and I was like,
you're
"The
welcome."
answer."
I knew it's what you needed. I knew
Well,
it.
that's why we're friends. That's why we're
Exactly.
here.
It's what
On
we
that
do for each
note,
other. Yeah.
should we that's why
Yes,
we're Linda and Elphaba.
we are Glinda and Alphabet. Hopefully, I won't betray you.
I mean, I'll just fly away if you do. Fly away to
I'll
the
try
west. I'll go out west, apparently.
I'll try to be good. But yes, anyway, leave us your thoughts. We also we have exciting things on the works for everybody. If you've been wondering where we're at, we have stuff coming out. We'll be linking soon. Just keep in mind stuff is coming out. We'll
Like my
we'll
book.
link it when it can. And Leah's book, December 21st. You can pre-order it if you want to spend a lot of money. Or
Don't
you can just contact us and Leah
I
will
was
hook
gonna
you
say,
up.
just send me a DM.
So yeah, we're excited
Theology
about
on the Rocks,
stuff.
Instagram. That's
Yes.
where we live the
How it
most, is on Instagram.
Yeah. Our Instagram is really the best place because we're both on it. And then you can decide which one of us is responding to you at any given
It's
moment.
kind of a fun thing.
It is. We
Sometimes I
never
have
tell
to
you.
put Leah, but I
Only
think
occasionally we will identify ourselves, but usually we just we let you live in the mystery.
I was gonna say, we just answer you and just let you go on. Although I think you can kinda tell sometimes.
I think sometimes, yeah.
Alright.
But we'll be back next week. Thanks for joining us again.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.